Today is Sunday, July 5th, 2026, and this is an update on the Salvia experiment. So here we have one of the two salvias that was part of the original experiment, and then here we have the other. And so I want to talk about the differences between them and what I've done here, because it's nothing like what I originally thought it would be. So originally with this plant, the idea was that I would just cut the spent flower stalks and I would not trim it all the way back, heavily trim it back, which is another method of getting these things to rebloom. And that worked great the first time I did it. The first time it was absolutely awesome. It came back beautiful and that was worth doing. But when it came time to do that again, there was really no way to do it, to cut the plant, to cut the stalks in the places they needed to be cut in order to make it work. So for example, if we look down here, right there, we can see a fresh bloom coming out there. So if I were to cut this stalk, the main stalk right there, I know that new stalks would come up from the side, but it seems you can only do that so many times before you have to actually cut it back. So I couldn't do it a second time. I tried and it just butchered the plant. I should have videotaped it then or recorded it then, but I didn't think about it for whatever reason, or I don't know, I didn't do it. So it looked awful. It just looked terrible. But meanwhile, I had this orange coneflower coming up because I have that and an autumn joy sedum growing in this container also. And the orange coneflower was coming up, and I thought, well, the salvia looks terrible, so let's just cut it back to give room for the coneflower to grow. So I cut the salvia back all the way. It was pretty far down. I think I cut it to within 2 or 3 inches of the soil. I pretty much was considering it done for the year, and I was just going to let the coneflower grow up. But the salvia came back, and this looks almost like the original growth because it has these places where I can cut the flower stalks when they're done blooming. And it seems like you can only do that once from a full regrowth, I guess. I'm not sure what to call it. This one here, this is the one that I just cut it way back. This is established. This has been here for several years, and it started blooming in March or something. And it was beautiful and full and gorgeous. And then when it was all spent, this is the one that I cut back heavily, but somehow it has just not grown back to its full glory, and I really don't know why. I treat these the same. They get the same amount of water and attention. All of my plants on my back porch get a lot of attention, and so they get an equal amount of care. The only real difference that I can think of is that this one does get more sunlight sitting out here, but that should be a good thing. These things want full sun, so I don't know, maybe somehow I've underwatered it, certainly not knowingly, but maybe. And I've also given it fertilizer. I thought, well, maybe it wants some nutrients, so I've given it fertilizer twice at least. It's been in that pot for several years, and so probably I could use it, but it didn't really seem to make a difference. It's alive, and the leaves are thick, but it's just not growing up like a salvia grows up. It's just kind of there. Whereas this, and actually I cut out a couple of stalks this morning because they had fallen over during a thunderstorm yesterday. So this actually was more full than what we see here because I cut out 2 big stalks. So anyway, I think my conclusion is that you kind of have to wing it. You kind of have to do both. It seems like maybe do the cutting of the flower stalks, spent flower stalks thing when you can, and then when you can't, cut it all the way back to within 2 or 3 inches of the soil and let the whole thing grow out again. That seems to be the most promising method. So we will see. I'll do another update before the end of the summer, and we will see. This is a continuation of the salvia update video, this time using salvias on the front yard, which I've never included before. because it was just a lot easier to record two side by side on the back porch that I was using two different techniques on. But here we have 9 salvias, all planted this year. These are all fresh. We have 3 up the top, 3 on the left, 3 on the bottom, or 3 bottom left, 3 bottom right. In this case, I did the same thing as what I did with the new salvia on the back, and that is that I cut back the spent flower stalks and let it grow out again. And it grew out really nice, but I suspect that at this point, maybe I can find where I was talking about in the backyard, where at this point there's just not any obvious place to cut them. See, I mean, I guess, yeah, see, it's not doing the same thing. It doesn't have those side stalks that it normally has. You know, maybe it would grow out, but, you know, where do you cut it? Where do you do it? There's just no obvious place to do it. And if you cut it, you may as well just cut it all the way down to the ground or close to it. So I think that's where I am next with these. So I think I will end up doing that today or tomorrow. It's really hot out. But I will do that soon. It clearly needs it. But also I want to note how much these are leaning towards the sun. These are on the front of the house, pointing kind of northwest, southwest. And yeah, they are definitely reaching for the sun, but they seem okay. The coneflower, on the other hand, I put in for some dramatic effect. It was supposed to be red. Didn't come out that way, obviously. But I bought it before it bloomed, and it was supposed to be bright red. But it is leaning heavily towards the sun, and maybe I want to put something there next year, something bright and vibrant, but maybe not a coneflower. But or maybe I can put something else beside that. Let it be there, but put something next to it on either side. Anyway, all right. So yes, we'll start including these salvias in the updates, because I have now learned that I can take 2 separate movies and string them together with iMovie.